housekeeping is like a common theme through all this. Okay, blocked exits. I wouldn't want to be in a fire in this room. Okay, we probably see this a lot in places. We've got old stuff, that brochures, pamphlets for education purposes that get stacked. We don't want to, they get stacked in there, and then we forget about them, and we get new stuff. It's outdated. It's old stuff. We get new stuff published, and we never get rid of it, and we just pile boxes on top of boxes on top of boxes. And then we get in a situation like this where we have a blocked exit. Okay, so clean out that old stuff. Do however you have to destroy it. Some people have procurement processes where they have to inventory it and destroy it. Best thing to do is destroy it, because it comes back to the slips, trips, and falls, strains and sprains, pest harborage, all that kind of stuff. Here's a blocked fire extinguisher. Okay, can't really get to it if we needed it. I'm assuming this is probably a bunch of surplus printers and equipment. So we need to make sure we are readily accessible to that type of equipment. The debris on the floor. Blocked passageways, stuff piled up in hallways. Seen this occasionally. That box is really leaning into the hall. If you look, I'd hate to be the poor soul that happens to be there at the right time, or the wrong place at the right time, so to speak, and that box falls on them. This might be some guilty parties in here. This is another VDH location, but you can just see, and I know it happens. You don't have any place to store stuff, so we got to store it somewhere. Make sure you don't have this stuff in the hallway. It's a variety of code. You've got a fire code violation. Fire marshal will cite you on this. OSHA would cite you on this. So you just got to look at those types of things. And if we really had to go out, I don't know, I think the exit is actually to the left, but if somebody had to go straight, they could, be blocked. Here's blocked passageways. I'm convinced this was getting ready to go to archive, though. That's what they told me. But there was an inch of dust on top of it, so, There's little tricks of the trade. All right. So housekeeping is the leading causes of all kinds of injuries. So that's the thing that you got to remember. Look for debris on the floor, clutter, stuff piled up in your hallways, blocked exit signs, storage closets, storage rooms, those types of things are notorious. Also look, depending on your facility, if you've got like mechanical rooms or equipment rooms, like where your different types of equipment is stored, like your HVAC units or your electrical panels. People like to hide stuff in there, and mysteriously it shows up. They should be locked and only limited people have access to it, but you might find stuff in those areas as well. How are we doing on time, okay?
Yep, we're still okay.
All right, slips, trips, and falls. Does anybody anywhere have any questions? Okay.
We have somebody with a question. Just a minute,
okay.
Please. Okay.
I do have a question. My question is, do you have a better technique to manage the record better? All these papers, that in the office we have a lot of papers, and sometimes some people don't have control how to manage all these papers and files. How would you manage papers? So, because when you have a lot of files, I work in the clinic, and we do have a lot of files. If we don't clean the files, and we don't send that to storage, we always is going to have a lot of files. So how would you manage that? I know that can be very, I know that when you have a lot of files and you need to send that to storage, that also costs a lot of money.
Okay, well, I guess the first question is, are the paper files is it is it actual files with paper in them, or are they stacks of paper and you're trying to file them? Or is it a combination of both?
What are you asking? I'm sorry.
Is it, when you're talking about files, is it loose papers everywhere that you need to file, or is it files that you already have that are medical files that are...
Medical files. We do have a lot of medical files.
Well, you should have every, now I don't know what facility you're at, but every VDH facility that I have been to has a records room that has shelving and equipment of a variety of different types for medical records. And then periodically they're supposed to be purged and boxed up and sent to, sent to wherever your Iron Mountain or whoever your storage, state library or whoever your storage facility is. I think, there should be a purging system in place already. Just I don't know how big your facility is. I don't know how many files you're talking about, but I would think that anything over 5 years old, if it's not an active file, can probably be purged. I don't know is there a records retention policy for medical records? Do you guys know?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Do any of you in here know? I don't.
I'd be real concerned about HIPAA violations too.
Yeah, I mean.
Medical information just sitting around.
Yeah, I guess if it's an organizational type thing where employees aren't filing papers according to the policy or procedure or however you manage your chart, then there's a bunch of other issues involved in that. So I'm not sure I understand completely what your question is.
Hi, this is Risa Sloves from Linnawisco. Hi.
Hi.
Virginia Department of Health has a retention schedule that's on the website that tells them if it's medical records that they need to be purging. It depends on the type of medical record, i.e. whether it's pediatric, adult, the type of medical record, but that retention schedule is there and they can download it and to have those purged. And that way there's not, and it includes administrative records, the fiscal records, all of those kind of things. There is a retention schedule that the Commonwealth of Virginia VDH has to adhere to, and that might eliminate some of that storage problem that they're facing there. Because actually, when you're out of compliance with that retention schedule, it's another ballgame. It's another issue.
Yeah, and that's well above me on the pay scale.
Me too. But it's actually in the they can go to the DAM manual, and I don't mean that.
Yeah, I know.
The DAMM manual. But the retention schedule, the Virginia Department of Health, there is our retention schedule, and it's just been updated. As a matter of fact, March of 2012, the new schedule is out, and so they need to be looking at that as far as the retention and purging.
Okay.
Thanks.
Did they answer the individual's question about the records retention for the record?
Should.
Okay. And I only knew that there was a. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, we do. We close files on the computer and we send to the storage. But do you think that if in the future we will go electronic, do you think that will eliminate more paper instead of having all these files and boxes and cluttering?
Well, I can tell you that the department, I can't speak for VDH, and I can't speak on whether you're going to go paperless or not. I can tell you from a workers' comp perspective, we've gone paperless. All of our documents and stuff are electronic, but it still doesn't eliminate paper. You still have some paper. I can't speak to that. Your business manager would probably be the best person to address that question to, or the HR facility director. I'm not sure who else would be able to answer that question except maybe your business manager. So, but you're never going to go 100% paperless. There's always going to have to be some paper. So.